Um, Thanks everyone, and welcome to the last session of this demystify technical analysis. And what we did about, some time ago we started with a journey. I don't remember the dates. I think so. We'll get to know in some times. But the most important thing, we started together, um, where we did not know anything about technical analysis, and this during this journey of 8 sessions or 9, I would call it, like, you have studied so much. So what I wanted to do this session for is actually answer your queries, whatever your queries are. And how do you go about analyzing a particular stock? How do you go analyzing about any breakouts? How do you go analyzing any mean reversion strategy? So everything in today's session is what you want rather than what I want to teach you. So the most important thing for today's session is what you want. So let me just start with the first question. And Mike, I may need require some of your support if somebody's putting up some of their requirements. We will just answer those questions. So today is actually a session for Q&A rather than anything else. Okay. So let's start. The first question somebody asked me, Pushkaraj, was like, do you discuss how to find potential multi-baggers? And the answer to that is yes and no. I know how to find a multi-bagger, but I also don't know how to find a multi-bagger. But there is a way you can actually learn how to find a multi-bagger. The way to learn how to find a multi-bagger is to find what were the earlier multi-baggers. Okay, what were the earlier multi-baggers and what were the characteristics of those multi-baggers? And that's where what you will need to do as a trader in terms of finding those information for you. Okay, where the maximum amount of performance has come in. So one of the ways that I find out, and you should definitely look for, let's take find out a recent multi-bagger. Okay, the recent multi-bagger was Laurus Lab. Obviously, it's a split adjusted, so the price would not have got thing. But assuming up till this point of time, okay, and let me just remove this particular point. Now, if you remember that one point of time, this particular stock was trading at 500 rupees and it went up to 1500 rupees. What do you think would have helped you to capture this full entire move from 500 rupees to 1500 rupees? Any idea? One characteristic that can really help you to find out a multi-bagger is find out the stocks which are making an all-time high. And that is one of my favorite setup to find out multi-bagger stocks. Now, assuming in the stock market, there are more than 4 to 5,000 liquid stocks that are being traded. Now, when you go to a lack of a better word, okay, but this is how my analogy works. कि अगर आप एक हॉर्स रेसिंग में जाते हो और वहां पे 10 घोड़े हैं, there are 10 horses that are running. What is the probability that you would the horse would win this? Obviously, there are favorites and there are underdogs. As a human nature, मतलब जो हमारा नेचर है ना, वी ऑलवेज वांट टू बी विद अंडरडॉग्स बिकॉज द रिस्क टू रिवॉर्ड रेशियो इज फिनोमिनल. मतलब 1 रुपए का 4 रुपया, राइट? बट a business person plays on probability. Okay, they don't look for the big multi-bagger returns, but what they look for consistency. Now if you take that philosophy and put it in trading, 4 से 5,000 स्टॉक है तो कुछ ना कुछ तो मूवमेंट कर रहे हैं. लेकिन अगर कोई स्टॉक आपके ऑल टाइम हाई स्टॉक मतलब लिस्ट में आ रहा है, इफ इट इज कमिंग ऑन एन ऑल टाइम हाई लिस्ट, that stock has a potential to be a multi-bagger. And that's why I told you that I know how to find a multi-bagger, but not necessarily all the stocks that hits an all-time high will be a multi-bagger. So what you do? What I do is I found out the stocks which makes an all-time high. Okay. And if I come here and if I look at this particular stock, say Laurus Lab made an all-time high at 642. All-time high also comes with a risk where you will figure out कि बॉस हम लोग ने गलत प्राइस पे ले लिया. If there was some bad news and the price tanks in, you are stuck with an all-time high price. So what I do is I need to have a stop loss. Now the best indicator for a stop loss is super trend. I feel so. Can be multiple this thing, but this gives you a volatility stop loss. So based on the recent volatility, I multiplied it by 3 times. So my stop loss is not much nearer. So if the stock hit at 650, my stop loss was at 570. Although you will get a wide stop loss, but while trading, you really want to investing, or if you want to give a multi-bagger, you can't have a 1 rupee stop loss and a 100 rupee return. You need to have a wider stop loss for your stop loss not to get hit. And that's why what I do is whenever there is a big breakout happening at an all-time high, I go long. Okay. And the super trend is my stop loss. If the prices goes below the super trend, I exit my position. Let's take another example recently. Okay. I think so. Divi's Lab was making an all-time high a certain point of time. Now see this. This particular counter made an all-time high at 2,538. From there, it went up to 3,335. But I would get out at 3,000 somewhere around, where because the super trend gave a close again. Then there was another all-time high at 3,424, and now it is currently trading at 3,605. So for me, if you ask me, if I want to find a multi-bagger, the best and the easiest place for me to find a multi-bagger is stock making an all-time high. Another way you can look for stocks which can be a multi-bagger. And see, always remember your trading should be very simple. अगर ज़्यादा बहुत complicated रखोगे तो पैसा नहीं बनता है. That's what my personal experience has been. I've done everything. Okay. Another way you can look for the stocks which are into monopoly business. And okay, let's talk about this particular counter is IRCTC. अगर आपको टिकट बुक करने जानी है, अगर आपको रेलवे में टिकट बुक करनी है, तो where can you go? IRCTC, right? And it is like a monopoly business or a duopoly business. These are the two things that I always look for any stock which has the highest market share for a particular segment. So whenever IRCTC came out with an IPO, and once it is hit an all-time high, because once it is a new IPO, the new price itself is something that you can always look for. So if you see over here, IRCTC hit an all-time high at 980 rupees. At that point of time, your stop loss is at 895. From 900 and whatever 975, it had a rally to 1,000 or around 2,000 bucks. Obviously, you will never get out there. Nobody gets this top. Only cheaters and God can get the tops and the bottoms. Okay, we are not cheaters. So here you would have got out somewhere around here, or I'm sure you would not have, because यहाँ पे तो circuit लगी थी. You would get out somewhere around here, maybe at 1,500. Still, from 1,000 to 1,500 is a good 50% move. So you should start thinking in terms of IPO stocks. Say, assuming any particular stock is coming out with an IPO. I remember way back in Maruti, okay? Even for Divi's Lab, I've seen that example that, like, it had a multi-mega bull runs. And very few people can do that. Remember, apni psychology apne ko allow hi nahi karti to buy an all-time high, and that's why they keep on making all-time highs. Now look at this Maruti stock. At 174, 175, it started making an all-time high. 174, it went up to what? 401. And I'm not trying to give you some of the examples. These are the examples that I traded way back when I was starting out and trying to experiment. But I'm not big in investment. Some of people are very good with investment. I'm not. I'm very good with my trading style. Again, it made a high, all-time high at 600. 600 came up to 722. Again, on all-time high somewhere around this. At 1,021, I got out at 821. Now, once you look for this particular big trends, like 1884, and I'm not telling you that you will find all of the stocks which are making an all-time high become multi-bagger. Always remember, आपके पास 10 स्टॉक हो गए, 10 में से 6 तो स्टॉप लॉस हो जाएंगे, 2 स्टॉक आपको मीडियम रिटर्न देंगे, और खाली 2 ही स्टॉक मल्टी बैगर रिटर्न देंगे, 500%, 600%, 1000% रिटर्न. but you have to wait for that 2 stocks, क्योंकि आपके 90% of the stocks stop loss hit हो जाएंगे. And that's what you really want. You want to be in a loser's games. I have been telling you throughout these sessions. The best loser is the best gainer in the market. Okay. So similarly, Maruti made an all-time high at 1864, went up till 4,000, 4 times return. Again made a all-time high somewhere around 4,881. Not a small, like decent return, I would call it. But then again gave a breakout at 6,000. And now trading at 8,500, where it gave you a sell signal. Now you are seeing something. These are the stocks which are turning out to be multi-baggers. But everyone had a characteristic. Maruti cannot become a multi-bagger from, say what, 460 rupees to 1,000 rupees without making an all-time high. How many of you are comfortable buying an all-time high? That is the question that you need to answer yourself. Okay. I'm just trying to give you some of the examples so you kind of relate to what I'm trying to say. I never heard of this company when I invested. Okay. ये क्या करती मुझे पता भी नहीं था. But the minute it started making an all-time high, it started coming in my radar. At about 470, 480 rupees, it went up to 2,000 rupees. Again 2,594, again came to 4,000. Again made an all-time high at 5,000, currently trading at 6,000. It is all simple in front of you, but the problem is we don't have. I don't have it. I'm sure you will not have it also. But if some people who has it, let's take Rakesh Jhunjhunwala ji ne kaise paisa banaya, Titan, right? Go back and look at the charts. Obviously, he would buy at the lower end and he's good with it. I am not. Now, if you look at, I'm sure you're looking at Titan chart, right? So let's take before the split bonus also. Nobody knew Titan. Titan gave a all-time high for the first time after a long period of time, say in 2005-6. It gave a multi-year breakout at 184. 184 went up to 637. Again gave a breakout at 894, turning it to 1,200 rupees. Now, if you ask me what is the secret sauce, the secret sauce, like, you know, some recently I put out a tweet saying that music is actually the sound between the two notes. Music is nothing but a sound between the two notes. Similarly, trading is nothing but sitting ideal between the two trades. Because हम लोग trading कर रहे तो what we think, or investing कर रहे तो we have to be very active. But here, if you would have bought a Titan in say 15th of November 2004 till 2006, 2 साल तक आपने कुछ किया ही नहीं Titan को. That's how multi-bagger becomes. Multi-bagger does not become overnight. Multi-bagger takes years to become multi-baggers, right? There is no shortcut. From whatever 860 rupees to again 1700, it took about 1 or 2 years. But ये 2 साल आप ऐसे बैठे रहोगे पूरा दिन देखोगे अरे क्या हुआ क्या हुआ क्या हुआ. It doesn't work that way, right? So your thing is to sit ideal. And that's what Jesse Livermore, one of the most legendary trader ever told. Okay, it is my sitting that made money, not my thinking. Got it? It is my sitting that made money in the market, not my thinking. वो भी 50% ही right होता था, लेकिन when he was right, he used to ride the trend. And this is one of the ways that a multi-bagger returns are generated. Sitting ideal. So, and if somebody is interested even more, what you can do is go to this and type in something called as CanSlim. And there is a book called as How to Make Money in Stocks by William O'Neill. Do read this book. This is the book that will tell you how to find multi-bagger stocks. So yeah. So the first question I have answered, how to find the multi-bagger stocks. What else? Because this is your day. You can ask me any questions that you want. So we are not going to have anything in terms of preparation. I will tell you, this is for our 8 sessions accumulation of what we have studied so far and putting into a live practical purpose. So if there are no questions, I will tell you how I can go about if somebody tells you that how do you analyze the market. Okay. So for me, this is how I'm going to analyze the market. The most important thing for me is the horizontal support and resistance line. Why horizontal and not the angular trend lines? We will talk about that. The horizontal support and resistance are because where there are exactly buyer and seller have bought and sold. And always remember, agar if I'm going to be an intraday trader, how do I decide when to buy, when to sell? Okay. The most important thing that you should remember is first draw your boundaries. I have a very good friend Uday who runs this discretionary trading systems, okay, based on price action, and I learned a lot of from him. What you can do is once you put up a time frame that you are comfortable trading it. अगर मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल देता हूँ, if you are into a football match, if you are into a football match, both the football team are very gung-ho to play each other. You know, they are super excited about putting goals on each other's goalposts. And all of a sudden, you remove the goalpost. What will happen? Just think for a second. आप फुटबॉल खेलने गए और सामने से अचानक ही गोल पोस्ट निकल गया, तो क्या होगा? You will never know what to do, right? You will never know what to do. And that's what trading is all about. And a lot of people get that wrong. Why? Because they don't have the boundaries decided with them. So as a discretionary trader, what would I do? I will first put some horizontal lines, which are my major support and resistance. And I try to put it as far as possible. Okay. And there is no rocket science. Okay. Which is the right horizontal support and resistance level. But what I will try to do is what we have studied about the support and resistance in our previous sessions. Now, all of a sudden, what you can see over here, the chart which did not had anything for us to make a decision on, now started making a lot of sense to us. Why? Because if you remember, support become resistance, resistance becomes support, resistance, 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 turn into a support, 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 support. So I know now this area of Nifty at between 12,740 to 12,800, you can also kind of narrow it down to a level where you are comfortable, but these are the areas in which Nifty should ideally take a support. And on the top side, I know Nifty, if you see over here, every time it has reached 13,000, that round number 13,026.7 जाके वापस एक बार तो वो नीचे आ ही रहा है. So that also tells you that in this zone, there is a lot of resistance. So if I want to be a trader, I would be buyer here and I would be seller here. And now you can ask me, Vishal, here, what should we do? And that is the classic mistake that every trader make. The classic mistake that every trader wants to make is now they want to trade. They don't wait for the opportunity. Tell me one thing, which is the fastest animal in the world? Can you put it on chat, please? I know it's a very stupid question, but it makes a lot of sense. Can anybody tell me what is the fastest animal in the world? Hello? Looks like my chat window has got hanged. Mayank, can you see that? Is it working for you? Hello? Hello?
Yes, Vishal, it's working for me.
Okay, it's working for you. My chat window has got hanged. Can you just help me, like, if there are any questions or anything there?
Yeah, sure. Just give me a second. So
That's
people
what.
are saying cheetah.
Cheetah. Okay, perfect. So cheetah is the fastest animal in the world. You are right, right? Cheetah is the fastest animal. Have you seen them hunting in at least real life में तो नहीं तो but at least National Geographic में तो देखा ही रहेगा, right? Do they hunt for the fastest deers because he's egoistic that I am the fastest animal in the world? Okay, so I should hunt the fastest deer. Does he have that ego? No. What he looks for? He looks for the weakest deer because he remembers one thing. He's the fastest animal in the world for a shortest period of time, because his window of being fastest in the world is only this much. If the deer keeps on running faster, then he will give up. So he also knows his limitation. So as a trader, the problem with lot of us, and I have to practice a lot in my mind also, when there are no opportunities, don't trade. So my opportunities are somewhere around here and my opportunities are somewhere around here. Then what should I do here? Trading is nothing but what you do in between the trades is actually waiting for the right opportunity. The real word of trading is not to take the trade. The real world world of trading, or real benefit of trading, is what you are doing between the trades. Not to trade every second, every 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute. You have to wait for your opportunity to trade it. And this is how I'm going to start analyzing my first view about the market. Say, okay, now I got a range. If I want to do discretionarily, these are my highs and the lows, and this is how I'm going to trade it. Then another angle that I would always want to put up is underlying trend. And in that underlying trend, the best indicator that I can think of is moving average. And I will put, say, 200-day period moving average. Why
So,
200?
Vishal, so people have asked three questions. Do
Sure,
let me
sure.
know when you want me to call them up.
Sure, sure, sure. So, yeah, perfect. Thanks a lot, Mayank. So, in this situation, a 200-day moving average gives me an underlying trend. That this is how I look for the majority of the trend. And whenever the prices are below this moving average, I will start looking at different angles. Then whatever we have studied, okay, in terms of we talked about trend line, indicators, RSI. See, do whatever you are comfortable with, but stick to it for a while. Then only you will be able to make money. And that is the most important problem. A lot of people don't stick to a system before turning into a multi-bagger returns. Yeah, I think I can take those questions.
So Vinod is asking, will Nifty have a mean reversion?
Nifty, okay. It's a good question, Vinod, because I have been butchered big time because I'm running a short only strategy on mean reversion. And people ask that whether what should we do with that strategy. Okay, so you can assume 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, almost 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 consecutive days of big wins, big gap ups. Okay, anything that is on the short side will stop working. But now, as you can see, the market has started coming down and everything will mean revert. That's the universal principle of the world. At this point of time, if you would have asked me, will the market will mean revert? Now the answer is here. Yes, it will mean revert. Whether at this junction you will ask me whether the Nifty will mean revert after few months or few quarters, we will talk about it and you will say yes, market mean reverts. Okay, but the problem with mean reversion is mean itself is moving. So at this point of time, the mean was here. At this point of time, the mean is here. So you have to also be flexible, and Nifty is a classical example. So any mean reversion strategy, I run it on Nifty, not on Bank Nifty. Why? Because Nifty constituents of 50 stocks. तो कुछ ना कुछ कहीं ना कहीं तो मीन रिवर्ट हो रहा है. So the stock will definitely have a mean reversion tendency, or the Nifty index will have a. I would be very skeptical of running mean reversion on Bank Nifty because it's only one basket of stocks. It's like a mid cap stock. Okay, all the banking sector, एक announcement of the banking and everything goes for a toss. Right? So you have to decide what kind of strategies that you want to run on what kind of instrument. I will never run mean reversion on Nifty. Sorry, Bank Nifty. I will definitely run, say, trend following strategies on Kiruba, who's a very good friend, and Trustline. I think so. He has a bot for you with golden ratio, right? It's a fantastic bot, but it is on Bank Nifty. Why? Because Bank Nifty is more volatile than Nifty. So you should definitely use those instrument and strategy together.
So Nitin is asking how to connect RSI, Bollinger, and MACD.
Interesting. So let's start with what you just asked for. Okay. So first RSI. Now RSI, I use it in two ways. There is a 14 period RSI which I forgot again. Somebody helped me last time also, but I forgot the name. Gentleman who has done this, who used this concept called as range shift. Okay, and I combine it with my favorite 2-period RSI. Okay, that is one way of doing things. I'm not saying this is the only way of doing things, but this is one of the way to do things. Now, what I will do is, when the 14-period RSI, what I have taught you in our RSI session, that people use RSI as an overbought and oversold indicator. I actually use them as a leading indicator or a trend following indicator. So if RSI goes above 60, that means there is a definitely trend in the market. Now, as a trader, my job is to either ride the trend or buy the dips. Okay, let me just expand this for a second. Now, as you can see over here, Nifty crossed above 60 over here. Let me just remove all these lines so there is no confusion. So here, somewhere around this bar, Nifty went above 60. And that tells me that market is in a trend zone. Now, either I can buy here and wait for it to go below 40, which is in this case somewhere around here on this particular bar. Okay. But Nifty again went above 60 at this juncture. So I'm still bullish on the market. Okay. Now that is one way of looking at things. Now another way of looking at things is this. Now once it goes above 60, that means there is a definite trend. Now I'm looking to buy opportunity, what we are comfortable with, mean reversion. So what I will do is I will look for whenever 2-period RSI goes below 20, I will start looking for either reversal. You can be, I do in the red candle, which I am very comfortable, but you can also look for some reversal or a green candle and go long. Whenever it goes below 20, that becomes your reference candle. Say, assuming in our case, this went below 20, this went below 20. अगर उसके ऊपर गया तो I will go long. Again, it went below 20. It goes above this, I am going long. Again, went below 20, and it is almost a short-term bottom. Went below 20, almost a short-term bottom. Here you had a pain because it started RSI also gone below 40. So that time I'm looking for to go short. At this point of juncture, at this point of time, I'm short on the market. The minute RSI goes above 60 again, I change my gear. Now I'm again looking for dips to buy. A buy, a buy, a buy. Now again, if the RSI 2-period RSI goes below 20, it's a buy because the RSI is still in a strong trend without going below 40. How do I use Bollinger Band in that? Okay. Remember our Bollinger Band trade that we talked about it? I would use as a divergence. Okay. In this, unfortunately, I'm not getting any much of a divergence, but this is the classical bounce back trade. RSI, okay, below 40, but not below 30, and then closing inside the band. So that is a good indication that the market is trying to go up. So I'm going to look for somewhere when there is a breakdown and then inside the band. On a broader level, okay, we have studied this in other chapters as well. A combination of RSI and a divergence will give you a very good results. So if you see, this is the bottom, this is the bottom. The price made a double bottom as we studied. So RSI should have also made a double bottom. What happened to the prices? What happened to the RSI? Sorry, RSI was making actually a new high. So if the price goes above this level, it's a breakout and a confirmation of a bullish divergence. Let's go back in the history. Okay, and here you can also have a Bollinger Band also kind of put up across. So these are the ways you can combine your RSI, Bollinger Band, And MACD is my favorite when it comes to predicting the top and the bottom. But yeah, you have to be wrong at least 2 to 3 times before predicting market top ban gaya ki nahi bana hai. What do I mean by that? Let's take this as an example. And I kind of got whacked for putting this prediction out. But yeah, this is what I like doing sometimes, not every time. Now, what do you see here? Let me just open up horizontal, a line. Price is going up, 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 up. MACD going down, down, down. So it is actually telling me when there is going to be a fall, there is going to be a massive fall. So I would have gone wrong here. See, this is the time when I also said the market is looking very bearish. And then, market had a fall and I was like very happy making a lot of money. And when the market reversed, I lost it. Okay. But then if you would have again followed the strategy, that's the problem with picking tops and the bottoms. You will be going wrong at least 2 to 3 times before you pick up the top and the bottom. So you have to be mentally prepared to do that. And once this support was broken and MACD below zero line giving you a sell signal, it was a classic sell signal. I don't think हम लोग का 2008 का data रहेगा, but let me see if I can pull up 2008. Yes, we have it. Yeah, perfect. Remember 2008, everybody talked about it. Everybody is now like 2008, 20 and all that stuff. So you learn from the past. What happened in the past? Ray. So can you see what happened to the prices? Going up. What is MACD doing? Going down. Break of a trend line. And you have to study that MACD webinar that we did. How do I decided this bottom and this bottom? But in that, I would have gone wrong at least once here, because here there was a short which got stopped out here, which nobody talks about it. In reality, this will happen. And you'll say, boss, nahi chalta hai. But you are trying to pick a top and the bottom. So every time you go wrong, just again try to get into the market. Okay. And once there was a breakout again, and you had a nice bit of rally of the bottom. Again, in the bottom, if you see, what happened to the prices? Sorry. 1, 2, 3. So ideally, what should happen to the MACD also? MACD should also have been making a triple bottom. What MACD was doing? MACD was going up. So that tells you when the market breaks about this, the double bottom got confirmed and we are in a bull rally. So this is, I know it is an all after effect. आप बोलोगे कि हाँ भाई पीछे तो सब चार्ट के ये साइड तो सब सीख लेते हैं, अभी क्या करना है बोलो. But then you have to wait for your opportunities to come. In this current scenario, are you seeing any divergence? No, I'm not able to see any divergence. So we are waiting for something to happen and then take an action. So yeah, this is how we are going to use RSI. This is how we are going to use Bollinger Band. This is how we are going to use support and resistance. This is how we are going to use MACD.
So
Mike.
Vinod is asking, if a stock breaks above ATH, do we wait for breakout to be revisited?
It is completely up to your style of trading. If you are very aggressive, you can put an intraday stop loss, and when it goes above this, you go long. There are people who are looking for multi-bagger returns. No point of doing it on a daily chart. You would want to do filter every day at the end of the week. Okay, weekly close should be above all-time high. Then I will go long. Okay, and never do all-time high will never work. Although index will always go up, I agree. But you should definitely try to do something on stocks, and try to do the stocks which are not heard of. Okay, the stocks that you have not heard of usually give you the biggest money. And when my money control article came in and they talked about it, how did you made money and all that stuff, I'm still a small trader, not big like all the comes on Twitter, but this is one of the trade that I will never forget, that made me a decent sized trader. So imagine I bought a stock at about 194. Okay. a company called Jacob in 2006-7. And it is not a data error, by the way. From 124 rupees, it went up to 7,000 rupees. That one trade turned my 25,000 into 12.5 lakh. I was just a young kid out of college trying to make money for myself. But the point here is one trade just put me into a profitable trade. 270 to 7,000. Is it not a multi-bagger? It's a multi-bagger. And you will get some of those. And they will only happen when there are all-time high. So either you can wait for your daily closing or you can wait for your weekly closing. It is completely depend on your temperament and style. There is no rocket science in this. Yeah. Main question.
So, Vipul, you are asking for the recordings. I have shared all the social media platforms of Trustline. You may visit the YouTube page, and we have a playlist of technical analysis there, and you can browse all the recordings there. And Vishal, I don't see any further questions. Right.
Sure. Interesting. So now let me just talk about what I think you should not do. Or maybe let's talk about something that I think is like, very good thing that I've been recently working on. Okay. So let's take Bank Nifty. Sorry.
Vishal, a question was asked from Akash.
Okay, sure.
How to select stocks for intraday?
Very good questions. Okay, everybody wants to know how do you select the stocks. For my intraday mean reversion strategy, I select the stock beforehand, but best of the best stocks have certain characteristics. Okay, let's talk about one of the stocks that I've recently traded yesterday. In fact, is this. And this is actually borrowed from my very good friend. See, I have no shame in telling where I borrow the idea from. Okay, this is by Kiruba Karan, who runs this strategy called as intraday trend trading. He has come out with a very nice concept. Okay, so what he says: find out till 11 o'clock the stocks which are greater than 3% tends to do well during the day because everybody thinks that. Market has moved up too much and it will not go much further. Okay, but if you see at 11 o'clock, it was more than up by 7%. After that also it went up by 7%. Okay, there may be news, there can be anything that you think of, right? But the point I'm trying to make here is the stock which are gaining more than 3% in a day and sustain about it till 11 o'clock because half of the day has already gone. और जो मीन रिवर्जन होना चाहिए था अगर नहीं होता है उसमें, that means it is going to be a trend following day. So the stocks which I get butchered is on my intraday trend following. Another way of looking stocks, if you want to short and maybe a bit of my side of the story, what I do here, finally I will do some. So I run this blog called as Market Scanner, and I'm sure a lot of you are aware of it. But if you click on mean reversion, I have put out a formula that this is how I select the stock for shorting tomorrow. So the closing should be about 200-day moving average. 2-period RSI should be greater than 50, and it should have moved greater than 3% today. Next day, I will come and I will short them 1% above their yesterday's closing price. And I'll put my stop loss, and I'll put my stop loss 3% above my shorting price, and I will put 6% as my entry price or the profit taking price. After them, I have gone short on whatever the price. And this strategy has been worked phenomenally well till November. And in November, we got butchered. So I have to accept that also. But nothing works forever. So that is another way. Another way of looking things is look for stocks. Let me just put it out on Notepad. So what you do is, and I'm trying to work on a scanner of this. You find out today's first 10 minutes of volume for all the stocks in FNO, ideally FNO because you are going to trade liquid instrument. Now you go back, say assuming these are the stocks, many stocks, whatever you are tracking. Now you take the first 10 minutes, only first 10 minutes, not everyday volume, okay? First 10-minute volume of last 5 days. Of that particular stock only. So what I'm trying to do is trying to find out कि आज का 10 मिनट का वॉल्यूम क्या हुआ. Then what I will do is I will find out the first 10 minute ka volume of the last 5 days and I will take the average. On an average, say assuming a particular, say today a particular stock had a 3 lakh volume today in the first 10 minutes, but on a regular day in the last 5 days उसकी फर्स्ट 10 मिनट्स का वॉल्यूम खाली 50,000 है. ठीक है, that means it's a 6x jump or a 6x jump in its first 10 minutes volume. This could be a stock that you want to keep an eye on. कि बॉस आज पहली 10 मिनट में इतना वॉल्यूम हो गया ना, तो ये स्टॉक हाई पॉसिबिलिटी कैन बी अ ट्रेंड डे स्टॉक, either up or down. Then you decide the direction. But based on the volume criteria, you really want to filter out the stocks in the first 10 minutes who has the highest. And now what you do is you compare the percentage change from in all the FNO stocks. So what will happen is you are able to do apple to apple comparison. अगर रिलायंस का 5 लाख का वॉल्यूम हो रहा है और आज 10 लाख का वॉल्यूम हो गया, और किसी स्टॉक में 2 लाख का वॉल्यूम और 3 लाख का वॉल्यूम हो, इट इज नॉट एन एप्पल टू एप्पल कंपैरिजन. व्हाट वी आर ट्राइंग टू डू इज रिलायंस का 10 मिनट का वॉल्यूम लिया और रिलायंस का ही 10 मिनट का वॉल्यूम लास्ट 5 दिन का एवरेज वॉल्यूम के साथ कंपेयर किया और उसका परसेंटेज निकाला. और आज MGL का भी मैंने फर्स्ट 10 मिनट का वॉल्यूम लिया और कंपेयर टू लास्ट 10 डेज 5 डेज का एवरेज वॉल्यूम ऑफ द फर्स्ट 10 मिनट्स वो निकाला. देन आई नो कि अगर इसमें आज वॉल्यूम ज्यादा है, दैट मीन्स समथिंग इज कुकिंग अप टुडे. सो दैट इज अनदर वे. So let's put up MGL and look at its volume. Okay, I don't know whether MGL had a volume criteria or not, but let's figure that out. And I'll just remove this. Oops, sorry. Can you see? If I would have taken this first 10-minute candle and compare its volume, 1 day कुछ भी नहीं था, 2 day कुछ नहीं था, 3 day कुछ भी नहीं था, 4 day कुछ भी नहीं था, 5 day कुछ भी नहीं था. कैन यू सी? अगर 5 दिन में पहली 10 मिनट में कुछ वॉल्यूम नहीं, लेकिन आज ही पहली 10 मिनट में वॉल्यूम हो गया, बस कुछ तो हो रहा है ना जो अपने को नहीं पता है. इट मे बी न्यूज, आई नो देयर वाज अ न्यूज इन गैस दैट यू विल बी थिंकिंग इसके लिए, तो फिर भी आपने नहीं लिया ना, और फिर भी वो 60% से 14% बढ़ा ना. These are the ways that you should definitely look for stocks which are making a substantial first 10 minutes move. Then compare to another way of you can do that is compare the first 10 minute ka candle high low and compare the first 10 minute ka candle ka high low, barring some freak trades that you get it in pre-open and वो जो freak trade होते हैं. लेकिन अगर पहले 10 मिनट का कैंडल या पहला 15 मिनट का कैंडल का जो हाई लो का रेंज है, it is much higher than the previous 5 days ka range, there is a high tendency that stock will be a trending day for that day. So these are the various ways that you can think which are the stocks that you should be definitely look out for it from a scanner point of view. What else?
Vishal, should I take the next question?
Yes, Mike. Thank you.
Manoj is asking, what is the seller and buyer psychology near upper and lower circuit?
Very simple. Sellers are panicking when it is a lower circuit, and buyers are happy when they are on the upper circuit. So I am actually trying to understand your question much more in detail. Um, Maybe what I've understood, KK, what is your psychology? Is basically everybody's greedy, right? And if the prices are hitting an upper circuit, the buyers are very happy because it is at an upper circuit, and they will assume that the next day or within half an hour or 1 hour, whenever the upper circuit is going to get open up, there is a high demand, so the prices will go up. Sellers at an upper circuits are panicking because they want to get out, but they can't get out because it's a freeze. So the minute the freeze gets opened, maybe if it is an FNO stock, there are no circuits, there are limits, right? The minute it opens up, they will try to scramble and cover their position. So conversely, on the lower side, if the prices are hitting the lower circuit, the sellers are very happy because they sold something and there it is circuit, lower circuit. And if the circuit opens, and it can happen at a lower end. But what I've seen recently when this crash came, ideally it used to work like beautifully in an upper circuit. If the upper circuit used to hit, the next upper circuit used to come immediately. And then the third circuit. Now, what we have seen recently, that when the upper circuit is hit, it is actually to get out of the stock, because usually that is the top of the day. Market makes a upper circuit and all the buyers are very happy, but somehow there are miraculous sellers that comes in. They sell hell out of the prices, and the prices actually comes down and breaks down the low also sometimes. So it is better to book your profit at the upper circuits. So in our one of the strategy, we actually put just, if you want to get out, we just put below the circuit to sell.
So Vishal, Vinod is asking, many times I notice a huge green candle and corresponding volume bar, and
Hmm.
then stock sells off. Why is that?
So this is what in a classical world, in our world, we call it as a stop loss hunting. Okay. There are two theories in the world, and there are two people, two mindset in the world. One mindset of people says that there is no thing such as stop hunting, because the market is so big that nobody can hunt your stop losses. And the other school of thought says that everything is manipulated and there is a stop hunting happens. And for me, if you ask me, I fall into a more of stop loss hunting, but not done by anyone like a specific person, but at a mass psychology level. Okay, what will happen is I will give you a nifty example that I traded yesterday and my stop got triggered. Now see this. Okay, it was a classical for me that this was a support line for some of the strategy that I was running. Okay, horizontal line. This was an area where I thought, because this was the previous resistance, although I'm not talking, I'm just trying to give you an example. It was a previous resistance, came here, became a support, almost in the range, support, support. So what I was thinking, you know what, if this breaks below, I will go short, which I did. And ideally, I will put a stop loss just above the breakout bar. Now, what happened is, due to some FMCG movement in the last 10 minutes or whatever that maybe, I don't know, prices went down. I shorted here, shorted, and all of a sudden somebody started buying it also. Now, once the prices starts came back in, my stop loss was here. Luckily, there was not a big movement on the upside. But ideally, what will happen is if your stop loss get triggered, a lot of people's stop losses are placed just below above the previous candle's high and the low. And they turn into a buyer and a seller, right? It was a seller right now. They were all seller here. These all people got stuck. And all had their stop losses somewhere around here, because maybe the time was not enough for us to, kind of cover that. Otherwise, the market would have just kept on going up and up and up. So this is how, buyers or sellers become. See this example. I remember there are a lot of days when there are panics, market reverses back. Like in the morning, short, everybody's shorting because they think the market is going to go down, and the market reverses. And all their stop losses, it is actually the blood of the people who shorted here. It is actually the blood of those people who is taking the market up. And I'll be very honest. I'm also part of this gang for many times, and sometimes I'm also the guy who is hunting because of certain strategy. Because where everybody's buying, I'm selling there. So that is how happens. It's just part of the game.
So, shall can I come to next?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, Manjunath is saying something.
Sure.
So, here it is. Usually, December will be profit booking in Dow Jones.
Yes.
Stimulus is the only trigger left. Will they use stimulus to sell off, or think still we have some gas left for up move?
I wish I could give you that answer, Manjunath. I'll be very honest that मैंने अभी recently एक tweet डाला था and which was very very funny and I really wanted to put this to you. One day Dow Jones was up. Okay, so the news came. Dow Jones up by 150 points on the hope of coronavirus vaccine. Okay, the next day, immediate day, Dow Jones was 200 points down. Same news agency flashed Dow Jones 250 points down because increasing number of corona cases. Now come on, tell me, what should I believe in the news or whatever my hypothetical reasons? The news or the things will always change according to the price movement. So yeah, you can have a philosophy and you try to play that philosophy. I am pretty bad at it. I trade prices because I know the news and the story will change around the hypothesis. हर एक न्यूज मतलब हर एक प्राइस एक्शन के पीछे दो स्टोरी होती है. आई डोंट नो वेदर आई शेयर्ड यू स्टोरी अबाउट my real life example of an HPCL BPCL. If not, I'll share it again. Young trader just out of the college wanted to make money in the market, sitting at a terminal looking at CNBC. No offense against CNBC, but announcement comes that at that point of time the HPCL and BPCL were regulated entities. Now they can they can price their petrol the way they want to do it, obviously with certain restriction. But at that point of time government used to decide, and they said that we are going to increase the price of the petrol now, which was a big booster for HPCL BPCL because they were already loss making, and if the price increase will happen the prices would go up, and that was the general thinking. So what I do as a trader, put on my trading terminal and bought HPCL and BPCL. The prices starts coming down. So I'm looking for reasons why the prices are coming down. So that's the media agency flashed that because the prices are because the price of petrols have gone up, people will move to the alternative uh, cars like CNG and LPG. And I said it's a fair point, right? Next time the announcement came, what do you think I should have done? I shorted because last time the same philosophy, right? And as we say, जब भी हम लेते हैं तभी नीचे जाता है और जब भी बेचते हैं तभी ऊपर जाता है. What happened to the prices? Prices started going up. So I started looking for news again. And the same thing came in because the price of the petrol has gone up. HPCL, BPCL will make money, so the prices are going up. Now, how I don't know what to do with that. Okay. So I'm just sharing my personal experience. You can have your hypothesis, but trade prices, what price is doing, and then trade them. And maybe you want to use news as a different contrary indicator. If there are bad news, like coronavirus is a bad news, right? Nothing was working, and you can use, if the prices are not going down, then you should ask your question. If something is wrong, everything is wrong, then why the prices are going up? Try to trade a contra trade, and that may help you a lot. Sure. Yeah. I hope I have answered that question.
So, Vishal, Rajesh is saying, could you please tell options by strategy?
Option.
By strategy.
Uh, so this is going to come out soon in one of the portal that I do education. But one of the things that I use for my option buying strategy, which I'm going to give you an hint of, use this indicator called as an alligator. Okay. Now you will know that option buyer makes money. So now remember this. Okay. This is the most important thing. 90% of the option expires worthless. That is the one statistics for you. 90% of the options expires worthless, zero. So that means आपकी probability as an option buyer कितनी है? 10%. Option buyer will make money when there is a momentum and then there is a volatility. Okay. Momentum can be defined as trend. Another statistics for you. Market trends only 30% of the time. Remaining 70% of the time, it is in a range bound mode. Now add these two probability and think of yourself as an option buyer. Okay. Only 10% of the time you will win. Even in that 10% of the time, you need to be right in that 30% time when the market is trending. So what is your probability of winning? It's very less or maybe negligible, but still we want to do option buying, including me. But I am mentally prepared that I'll be wrong hell lot of time. And an option buying strategy would have an accuracy ratio between 30 to 40%. And if you do a Monte Carlo simulation, okay, if you do a Monte Carlo simulation of your strategy, let me see if I have just talked about it. This was the one that I was talking about, if you remember. If you're running a strategy of 40% in the large range of 5,000 trades, you can hit a probable losing streak of 21 trades. You can hit a losing streak of 21 trades. Are you prepared to do that? Then start thinking into an option buying. Having said that, I will still share a strategy with you. Okay. We don't want to get into it, but there is a concept of a lot of people use it. It's called as Elliott wave, and they say something like this: if you want to take a revenge on your enemy, teach him Elliott wave. No offense to Elliottian, I love Elliott wave, and I know it works. Okay, there are trends. You can make money here. You can make money here, and you can make money here. But you know what? All these trends that you are seeing is only 30%. And all the people who make money in this trending market now, give it back in this range bound market. ये जो drawdown आ रहा है ना, they give it back to the market. So one way to stop that is not to trade during the sideways market. And how do I define a sideways market? Can you see this moving average? These are three moving averages, which is defined by 13, 8, and 5. You can do some research on this. Now, whenever the green line crosses the red line and the blue line, it actually tells you that the market is a sideways market. So what I would do, I will come here and try to find out the highest high price. And I will try to find out the lowest low price whenever this green line crosses the red line and the blue line. Now, can you see this is my range? In this range, I will not do anything. Once the prices starts going above it, there is a high probability that the market is going to be a trending market. And this is where I should start initiating my long option positions. Okay. Again, let's do this. Where are we now? And let's do on our current scenario. The green line crossing the red line. And now it is crossing the blue line. So what will I do? I find the highest high points, the green line crossing the red line and the blue line. Now I have a big range till my green line again goes up and start crossing the red line. Maybe this becomes my range then. Right? Let me just go on a lower time frame. So where the crossover would have happened. Okay, assuming this crossover happened. Now my range is this and this. In this, I will not do any option buying. I recently made a good money in option buying doing this. Let me just show you. Can you see this trade? Okay, let's do this one. The green line crossing the red line and the blue line. What is the lowest point at that point of time? It's this particular bar. Okay, and the green line crossing the red line and going up. This is my high range. So I was mentally prepared. If the price keeps on consolidating between these two range, I will not do anything. The minute it crossed below this line, okay, and I know कि ये previous जो fractal बोलते हैं या bottom बोलते हैं, it has been breached, a trend would come in, and I made a decent money in this particular fall. Okay, so as a trader, you need to look for those opportunities. It is not going to come every day, and trust me, you are going to be wrong lot many times. If you cannot prepare yourself to go wrong 6-7 times consecutively, don't do option buy. So with this, I rest my case. Okay, my next question. I think so we can take few more questions and then we close because today is the last day.
So Pushkaraj is asking, how do you backtest your strategies?
So I have few platforms that I backtest my strategy. One, I have backtested in AmiBroker. I use AmiBroker quite extensively for my technical based trading strategies. And I use StockMock for my option backtesting. So these are the two platforms as of now I'm using for my backtesting.
So Vishal Amin is saying something. What if we use strategies like spreads, straddles, etc. rather than buying? Will we be profitable?
Sorry, come again with the question, man, please.
What if we use strategies like spreads, straddles, etc. rather than buying? Will we be profitable?
So maybe I'll do a bit of marketing all for myself. So I've been running these few strategies, okay, which are purely based on the straddles and the strangles. So you can check them out on a website called as marketscanner.in. And if you see over here, every month we have been selling straddles and strangles, and the strategy has been consistently making money. Okay. That said, November has been a miserable month for straddles and strangles. This month, obviously, because it is a backtested, now we have gone live. So we made money good for, we have been running this from Jan onwards. We have made a good money till November hits us. And November was one of the most difficult month for us, for a straddle and strangle. And that's why you want to combine few different strategies together. And option buying, option selling, mean reversion, volatility breakout. Kiruba Karan, who has, kind of worked with Trustline, is working closely with, building bots. You should definitely explore his bots. It's amazing. He has, mixture of all the strategies together. So the idea here for you, yes, straddle and strangle makes money, but they will not always make money. They will also have a losing period. So as a trader, you have to understand that losing is a part of this game.
Vishal, I don't see any further questions.
Okay, awesome. So Mayank, I really want to first of all thank Trustline, and I think so everyone who has been part of this journey, to that you guys took the time, but it would not have been possible without Trustline support. So I really want to thank Trustline and Mayank especially to make this available to everyone rather than just being putting it to your own set of clients. But really appreciate Mayank, and thanks for everything that you have done so far in this full journey of technical analysis.
Thank you so much. So you have done it very perfectly. A great teacher you are. And we believe that we'll be come soon with the further sessions also in
Sure.
future. And thank you everyone for joining us. It was nice with you all. So we'll be putting up all the videos of the sessions, including this one also on the YouTube page. You all can walk through there on the YouTube link. So Vishal, should we close it now, or do you have
Yeah.
something else to speak up?
No, I was just wanted to, kind of tell everyone that, it is a journey. Don't take this as a stride. And there are few last pearls of wisdom that I want to share with you. One, read lot of books. At least I would say read. There is a book series, okay? Market Wizards. Okay, then there is a book called as New Market Wizards. Then there is something called as Stock Market Wizards. Then there are called as Hedge Fund Wizard. And the last one came out is Unknown Market Wizard. Read this book. You will not find any strategy. Okay? Zero strategy. But these are the interviews of the world's top trader who are managing billions and maybe trillions of dollars. And this guy, Jack Schwager, who has interviewed them, I have learned so much from them that I cannot even put it into words. Okay. And then you would want to read books on psychology through Discipline Trader by Mark Douglas. He has written another book, Trading in the Zone, that will teach you that it is okay to take loss. And a lot of people lives with a notion कि बॉस मेरा ही स्टॉप लॉस हिट करने आया था और वहां से ही घूम गया. Market doesn't even know who we are. For a lack of a better word, I would tell you, market will not know who you are. Market is so big. Do you think everybody is gunning for your stop loss? No. Market is just a facilitation or a place where everybody is doing a buying and selling. You have put the stop loss at the wrong place and you got stopped out. Stop blaming market and stop blaming everyone else. So just take responsibility of your trading and then you take it from there. So that is one book that I would highly recommend to you guys. And if you are going to look for, say, mean reversion, read books on Larry Connors. If you are onto trend following, then read book by Michael Cowell. So, and after all this, जो भी करो ना, if there are two school of thoughts, can I run one strategy and make money, or I should run multi-strategy and make money? So I have my differences with few of my friends. Few of my friends says, and they are right also, and I'm not saying they are wrong. They say that you should run one strategy and be master of that strategy. Okay, and you will have big returns. Like he made some 100% in like 5-6 months. Okay, but then he will also have a drawdown, which will be tune of 30, 40, 50%. When I say drawdown, it's loss making months I'm talking about. For me, I would be maybe 40, 50% for this year. Okay. But my drawdown is kept at 10%. Now it is you who wants to decide. There is no right or wrong answer in this market. It is who you decide that whether I'm comfortable with this or I'm comfortable with this. I started with this and I was very uncomfortable with this. And that's why I moved here, where I discussed about, running mean reversion strategy. I do golden ratio by Kiruba with my own twists and turns. I do straddle and strangle that I've been taught on my website. The strategy that I've taught, I've been trading myself. Then I do new strategies that I'm trying to build on option buying. So I'm comfortable with 50% return, but I want to keep my drawdown. So I had only one losing month so far. It's November right now. Till that point of time, for the last 9 months, I've been consistently be profitable when I've started taking few challenges here and there. So yeah, with this, I really want to close. Mayank, if there is any more, no.
Oh, no. Thank you, Vishal.
Yeah.
So we should wrap it up. Thank you
Yep.
everyone for joining us. See you soon with the new exciting sessions with Vishal. Okay, Vishal. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.